Well, speaking of signings, Connor, looks like we're about to make one, but not for now. So, a couple of things. One, Jeremy Jacquet. What are we saying, lads? I mean, Mark Gay, who needs him? Who wants him? Absolute waste of time and space. Now, in all respect, Mark Gay is a fantastic footballer, but Jeremy Jacquet, what are we saying to this one, Connor? I mean, it's looking like it's about 70 million euro all in, or 55 million pound plus 5 million in add-ons. Players doing his medical as we sit here right now, and we expect an announcement for a loan back to Stade Rouen for now, and then him to join up in the summer. What are we saying?
I'm going to correct you on that. There's no loan back. It's actually a pre-agreement for the summer. He's not coming now. The way it's
I stand corrected. Thank you for that one.
By Mo Chatra decided that this will be in the 2026-27 account, so it's not.
I did see that from Mo, actually. Yes, fair. I did see that from Mo.
Yeah, kind of like the Georgie Mamardashvili thing. Really, it was a deal agreed in advance rather than a loan. So I think overall, look, it is smart business to be fair to get him in. Like, he was very highly sought after. Chelsea were in for him, Bayern Munich were in for him. There was countless other clubs looking at him over the last few months, and like, it is a lot of money. And he's only played, I think, is it 30 games in League One. Like, he's played, I think, something like 83 games in his professional career, but only 30 of them were actually in the top tier of France. So whatever the lads have seen in the stats, I'm sure they've seen something that constitutes him being an absolutely wonderful defender. But huge amount of money, and I'm sure it probably will be the correct decision. But yeah, definitely a gamble, but I'm happy to see him coming in. And disappointing he's not coming in now, but look, if that's the only way we're going to get him in, then look, fair enough. It's a good bit of business, and I'm sure we will reap the benefits of it in times further on rather than now. But yeah, good, smart business overall, I think, and good to get one over on Chelsea as well.
Chris, before I come to you for your opinion, I just want to give you the opinion of Julien Laurent, who's obviously a Paris Saint-Germain fan, but more importantly, a French football expert. He said he's the real deal. I know he's only 20. He hasn't played for France, and he hasn't played in the Champions League or the Europa League. He's a long way to go, but he's been impressive last season after his club called him back from his loan in the second division. And this season with Habib Bailly, you can't get it wrong. He's going to be amazing. He reminds me of when William Saliba burst onto the scene in France with Saint Etienne or Wesley Fofana. It's about how much you value that potential and talent. You'd pay a lot of money for somebody who hasn't really proved much. It's a lot of money for such a young player. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much echoed everything. I cannot profess to be a Jeremy Jacquet expert. I've only watched compilations from the last 2 days. But what I can say is it looks good. It looks really good. He looks quick. He looks strong. He looks powerful. Loves to go to ground a lot. I've seen a lot of slide tackles involved in his compilations. But yeah, he looks pretty good. And the club must, to sanction that, they must really, really rate him. However much it is good business in the long term, it is frustrating at the moment as we speak that we haven't brought anyone in this window. I think that it is still a bit of self-sabotage. I know we won the last game, and hopefully, touchwood, Konate, Van Dijk, Gomez can stay fit, and Leone comes back strong. But it does still feel a bit self-sabotagey, because if Van Dijk gets injured, I think that's our season over. So yeah, we're putting a lot on the line here.
I want to take an angle that Chris has mentioned there, Connor, but just change it slightly. I agree with the potential self-sabotage, and you don't need to look hard to see my opinions on us not signing a centre-back this year. But something that struck me was a comment somebody said to me about the club, maybe looking at Mark Gay and thinking, no, not really exactly what we want, so moving for Jeremy Jacquet. And I'm okay with that. But I do wonder, are we putting ourselves in a difficult position if Konate doesn't sign a deal? Because then we've got Leone, we've got Jeremy Jacquet, we've got a lot of young centre-backs and no real obvious defensive leader back there outside of Verge for one more season. And even at that, the lads will still only be 22 and 19 or 20 at that point.
Yeah, you could probably do with a bit more experience there, to be fair. And I'm sure the club will have considered this. I'm sure in the summer we'll probably see, well, depending if Konate goes, if Gomez goes, or if let's say if they're in talks with Van Dijk for another year extension, all these things, I'm sure we will look at the situation and be like, right, we need to get, let's say, one more young lad, let's say even not young, let's say like Schlotterbeck, he's 26, get someone in that kind of age profile, and then maybe bring in I can't even think of any names, but someone in the 29 to 32 or 3 age brackets for a bit of experience as well. I'm sure they are idiots at times, but overall the people running the club aren't complete idiots. I'm sure they have thought of this, and I'm sure they will have some sort of solution in mind. But definitely on paper it looks very young, and we could definitely do with more experience. So I'm intrigued to see where we go with it. But I've gone back and forth on this as well. Like, do you reckon this means Konate is leaving or is less likely to leave? Because like we've seen stuff like Romano was saying that Jacquet has been promised he'll be like a crucial player straight away, but like that could mean he's going to play 3 of every 5 games. That could mean he's going to play in a back 3 for Xabi Alonso next season. God only knows. Like, do you reckon this increases or decreases the chance of Konate staying? I suppose is the question.
So can I just jump in, because this is where I've got to dig my heels in a little bit on the Mark A situation. I refuse to believe that signing an England international who's 25, that's homegrown, that has 4.5 years Premier League experience, isn't a good idea. I still can't get past that. You mentioned Mo Chatra a moment ago, Conor, talking about where this goes on the club's accounts. That wasn't lost on me when you mentioned it, because it does mean it's not going to be on this year's accounts, which leads me back to perhaps why I believe we didn't sign Mark A, which was a financial reason, potentially linked to the Harvey Elliott deal and that £35 million not coming in. So for me, Chris, I still think it is a money-driven decision more than it is definitively a best centre-back for the best point of our development.
Could you, on that point, could you not have done the same type of deal with Mark Gahey, though? Like,
in what sense?
For example, we could have said to Crystal Palace, if they really wanted to keep him for the rest of the season, we'll give you 15 million at the end. Like, if we really wanted Mark Gahey, like, we could have.
I'm just trying to figure out why we went from wanting him last summer to still saying we wanted him on a free next summer to then absolutely just shrugging our shoulders and walking away and spending more and committing to more money for somebody else whose name hadn't really been in Liverpool transfer circles for the last 3 months.
Yeah, I'm still very firmly in the camp that is a baffling decision. And he had a Liverpool shirt on. Like, at the end of the day, the fact that we didn't get that deal done is pretty embarrassing. But he made his decision. Maybe it was to do with the finances. Maybe it was to do with the wages. I don't know. But like, he could have had the potential to play for Liverpool for the next 8 years, and like, it would have been a much. I think a very sensible signing, but yeah, I still think it's just totally baffling we let that happen.
Like, Conor, if we were sitting here right now and we said, right, we got Mark A in this window, we had Giovanni Leone, and we agree Jeremy Jacquet for next summer, we're probably sitting here going, well, that's that done. That's boxed off, mate. We're laughing now. Here we go.
Yeah, like whether Konate stays or goes, then you still have a very, very good, capable set of players there. Like, and like the only thing I can think of is it must just be the wages. It must just be something in there. I don't know what metrics they use, whatever, but something in the fact that they don't want to shell out X amount per week. Like, outside of that, I can literally, I don't agree with that, by the way, but I'm just trying to think like what way they're going to think. And then like someone like Jacquet, they're probably looking at like, right, we spend £55 million now. We either play him for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and then sell him for the same amount, or not, if not more, or else just keep him until he's 34 and get like X amount of value. There must be some sort of metric here that we as mere mortals can't see, but like outside of that, I can't see any reason why. Because like you said, like Mark A, he could have been an absolute stalwart in that defence for the next 7 or 8 years, if not even if it was only 5 years, it'd be enough. Like, it'd still be good value, but there must be something there we're missing.
I've seen Mark A, Chris, as the modern Virgil van Dijk signing, as here's the guy in his prime, proven it, been there, done it, ready to be the leader of the defence and shepherd through Giovanni Leone and maybe some of the young guys we brought in from Vienna, the young Senegalese centre back, and now of course Jeremy Jacquet who's coming in. That's the way I see the development. But as Conor alluded to, outside of the keep an eye on the homegrown quota, which I think we still need to do, if Liverpool do go into the summer and bring in the likes of the centre back from Borussia Dortmund, Schlotterbeck, then that's okay. We've got that leader. I just still think that is the one centre back position we need to lock down, that 25 to 27-year-old established player.
Yeah, it's the key part of squad planning, isn't it? Which again makes it baffling that we didn't try and sort that deal on January 1st, let alone anything else. Especially if the asking price was £15 million. I think regardless of wages, that's a ludicrous signing, and it's what I think Michael Edwards would call a market opportunity, as they like to say. Yeah, I'm not gonna let the club off the hook for that one. I think it's an absolute serious fuck up that we've let him go there. But
even
anyway.
on like the gear through the stuff, the way that fell through, I think that would have made so much sense as well. Like, fair enough if it's only a 6-month loan, but if there's an option to buy and he comes in and is good, like he's already a leader because he's like a captain of Feyenoord and Slot knows him well. He could be probably not as good as Mark Ahey, but someone in that age category again with a bit of experience. Like, I didn't see any reason why we shouldn't go ahead and get that loan, and then it might give us an option. Like, fair enough if he's not good enough, you get rid of him and find a Schlotterbeck or someone, but like it's another avenue to explore at least. I was really surprised that one fell apart because I thought that made so much sense.